Help me reach 5,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. She pushed my hand off her shoulder like she was swatting a fly. No words, just that flat little move people do with strangers on a bus. We were on our own couch, game muted on the TV, dinner plates still on the coffee table. I looked at her. She looked past me. "Don't start," she murmured, eyes back on her phone. Back then I still gave it the benefit of the doubt. New project at her office, overtime, head full of spreadsheets. I kept telling myself it would pass. I cooked, ran the trash out, fixed the loose stair, and kept showing up with patience. I asked for simple things, a walk around the block, sitting at the table without screens, a hug that lasted more than a second. She'd nod, then forget, like I was a push notification she cleared. One Tuesday, I tried to plan a date night. She waved it off with, "We just went out," even though just was 2 months prior and takeout at the counter didn't count. I wasn't starving for romance. I was asking for basic connection. She treated it like a chore. Little by little, I felt like a tenant who paid on time. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have saved both of us months. Saturday morning, kitchen. I'm frying eggs. She's flipping through mail like a bill collector. The window over the sink shows my truck dusted with pollen and the neighbor's dog doing laps like it pays property tax. "You going to Nora's barbecue tonight?" I asked, sliding a plate toward her. She didn't look up. "If I feel like it." "It's across the street," I replied. "Low commute." "Don't corner me, Dan." "Corner you?" "It's brisket and folding chairs." She pushed the plate back with a fingertip. "I'm not hungry." "You haven't been hungry for much lately." She glanced up. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means you spend more time with the thermostat than with me." "I'm not scolding you. I'm noticing. Can we not do this before I've had coffee?" I made coffee. "Doesn't taste right." I took a breath and moved the plate back to the stove. "All right. New plan. I'm going to Nora's at 6. If you feel like it, walk over. If not, that's fine. I'll be home when I'm home." She frowned. "So now you're just making plans?" "Yep. You didn't ask." "I did. You said if I feel like it. So I'm saving you the pressure." "That's not considerate. Neither is treating me like a calendar reminder." The back door creaked. Nora poked in her head the way neighbors do when they've already knocked and heard movement. She's mid-50s, former nurse, straight shooter. "You two coming tonight?" I snagged the big cooler from the clubhouse. She caught the air in the room. "Am I interrupting?" "Not at all." I told her. "I'll be there. 6. My wife forced a smile. "We'll see." Nora's eyes moved between us, clocking it. "Got it. I'll keep you a spot." She left as quietly as she came. When the door shut, my wife tapped the counter. "Don't volunteer me." I didn't. I volunteered me. "That's not how we do things." "How we do things stopped being a team sport," I said, rinsing the pan. "I've been applying for minutes on your schedule." "I'm done applying." "That's dramatic." "It's efficient." She folded her arms. "You're overreacting because I don't want to cling." "A hug isn't cling." "You're making rules now?" "Just one. I won't chase you around the house asking to be treated like a husband. Starting Monday, I'm off that project." "You're punishing me." "I'm maintaining dignity." I turned off the burner. 6 tonight. Or not. That afternoon I mowed the lawn, rotated tires in the driveway, and sent a group text to Mike and Rob about a pickup game next week. I didn't invite her. That wasn't spite. That was schedule management. When we drifted, it wasn't because I stopped trying. It was because I stopped negotiating to zero. At Nora's that night, folding chairs and a grill that looked like it belonged on a trailer. Country music low, people laughing in clusters. My wife didn't show. I didn't keep checking the street. I ate brisket, talked to Nora's brother about his broken fence, and let that be the evening. Sunday. Later, she set 2 bowls on the counter. "So," she began, "are we okay?" "We're not broken," I replied. "We're bent. I'm just tired." "Me too," I said. "Of asking." She stared at the bowls. "I don't want to talk about this all day." "Good news," I answered. "I'm done talking. I'm moving." "Moving where?" "From asking to acting." She didn't like the phrasing. Good. It wasn't built to be liked. Monday at work, Mike leaned into my cubicle with a paper bag in his hand, and that grin he gets when he's about to stir the pot. Mike's a mechanic turned fleet manager, blunt edge to a soft heart. "You look like someone who slept on a couch," he said, tossing me a sandwich. "Guest room," I corrected, opening the bag. "Couch is for sports." What happened? I set a rule. I'm not chasing my wife for basic respect. He whistled low. Bold breakfast. Bold or bare minimum. Pick. He tapped the partition with a knuckle. You going to that charity golf thing Friday? Heard she wanted to go. She can go, I said. I'll be at the gym. New schedule. He raised an eyebrow. You told her? Tonight. She'll love that. She'll survive that. At lunch, she texted a photo of her desk with a joke about drowning in spreadsheets. I replied with a thumbs up. No essay. She wrote, dinner? I typed back, home late. 10 minutes later, she sent, I can pick up salad. I left it on read for 20 minutes, then wrote, grab what you want. Message delivered. I'm not coordinating my appetite around a maybe. After work, I stopped by the credit union and split my direct deposit. Bills and mortgage went to the house account. The rest moved to a new one with my name only. Not a punishment. A boundary. She'd been coasting on my habit of covering extras. From here on, extras would be discussed like adults or paid individually. At home, she was at the counter with grocery bags. She had my favorite rotisserie chicken, the kind you can smell from the driveway. Her hair was up, face softer than I'd seen in weeks. I got dinner, she said, sounding almost light. I know you like the dark meat. That's true. She held out a plate. Sit. Tell me about your day. Illusion number 1. I could recognize it, even as my stomach appreciated the effort. Busy, I told her. Yours? Insane, she replied. I'm sorry I've been off. Work's pressing. I didn't mean to be distant. I hear you. She looked at me. I'll do better. Good, I said and left it there. Small mercy, not amnesia. We ate mostly quietly. Then I cleared my throat. 2 things, I started. First, Friday nights are mine for a while. Gym, then Mike's garage. Second, I changed how money flows. Mortgage and utilities are covered. Beyond that, we each handle our extras. If there's a joint purchase, we plan it. Her fork paused. What? This way, we don't step on each other's toes. You split the account without talking to me? I just talked to you. That's controlling. It's clear. She set her fork down. So, I need permission to buy things. No. You need your own plan for your own extras. Same as me. You didn't even ask if I was okay with this. I asked for connection for months. I replied, sipping water. You said you were tired. This is the version where I don't nag. I adjust. You're punishing me. I'm preventing resentment. She stared at the chicken like it had opinions. You're being cold. I'm being sane. She poked at her plate. Friday, there's that golf thing with Rob and Tasha. We said we'd go. We didn't say I'd go. 90 minutes, if I go at all, and I won't pretend if you start making me the punchline. Fair. She squinted. You think I make you the punchline? I think you've been practicing. I'm joking, she said. You're sensitive. I'm observant. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Fine. Friday. 90 minutes. Great. I replied, collecting plates. I'll drive separate. She looked at me like I'd announced I was moving to a cabin in the woods. Separate. That way, if I leave, it's not a hostage situation. That's ridiculous. It's efficient. She exhaled through her nose. You're not fun lately. I'm not a prop lately. The night of the golf event, we ended up at Rob and Tasha's afterward. Rob's a contractor with a laugh you can hear from the driveway. Tasha is all sparkle and sharp teeth. Funny until she picks a target. There were snacks, a card game, music low enough to talk over. We sat around their dining table. Someone poured drinks nobody really needed. Tasha leaned in, smiling. Okay, best story from the week. Rob pointed at me. Dan always has something. Mr. Reliable. My wife smirked. He reorganized our laundry schedule. It's thrilling. True, I said. System saves time. Tasha grinned. Next he'll color code your hugs. Wouldn't notice, my wife tossed, quick. He times those too. Everyone chuckled. Easy. The way people do when a jab seems light. I watched the angle. It wasn't light. I didn't bark back. I set my glass down and looked at my wife. Let's keep jokes clean, I said calm. I'm not volunteering to be the target tonight. Rob lifted his palms. Hey, we're just teasing. I get it, I replied. I'm setting a limit. Tasha's eyebrows went up. Since when do men admit limits? Since now, I told her. It's not a confession. It's a boundary. My wife rolled her eyes. Oh, come on. We're all friends. Right, I said. Which is why I'm speaking plain. I don't mind being laughed with. I'm not signing up to be laughed at. She threw me a look like I'd stolen the air out of the room. You're making a scene. I'm giving a courtesy notice, I answered. If it keeps up, I'll head out. No drama. Rob nodded slowly. Fair. Tasha sipped. Okay. New topic. Favorite weekend breakfast. Bacon, Rob announced. Fruit, Tasha said. Coffee first, I offered. Food second. My wife chimed in, light again. He's generous with coffee. If he approves the flavor. I pushed my chair back half an inch. I'm out in 5 if we go back to that well. Tasha's gaze flicked between us. Got it. We played a hand of cards. Rob told a story about his foreman misreading a blueprint and building a doorway in the wrong wall. Laughter reset the table. 90 minutes ticked by, and I checked my watch. Okay, I said, standing. That's my time. Thanks for the invite. You're leaving? My wife asked, half shock, half challenge. Yep. I set the rule. I follow it. Tasha touched my arm. Hey, next time we'll do brunch on the deck. No jokes, promise. I like jokes, I replied. I don't like knives dressed as jokes. As I walked out, I heard my wife mutter, he's sensitive. I didn't turn. In the truck, I sat a minute, watched my breath fog up just enough to draw a smiley face, and didn't. I drove home, moved the rest of my clothes into the guest room, and slept like an adult in a separate room of his own house, which is a special kind of ridiculous if you think about it too long. Next morning, she was in the doorway of the guest room. Seriously, she asked. You're sleeping in here now? For now. That's extreme. It's low drama. Less collateral damage. I pulled on my work boots. Also, I'm done asking to be treated like I'm not furniture. What does that even mean? It means I'm not initiating anything physical or emotional until we act like partners again. No touching, no small talk on loop, no covering extras without a plan. I'm not hostile. I'm out of the roommate arrangement. You sound like a manual. I'm tired of improv. Her jaw worked. So you're withholding. I'm opting out of begging. She stood there, bewildered, as if she hadn't been the one putting me on a diet made of silence. I grabbed my keys and left for work early. At lunch, Mike and I ate in the break room. He watched me unwrap my sandwich. How's the experiment? He asked. I stopped treating my marriage like a customer service ticket, I answered. I won't keep it open forever waiting for a satisfactory resolution. You sure you're ready for where that goes? I'm ready for respect or distance. Both beat limbo. He nodded slowly. You need a place to crash, you call. Appreciated, I said, meaning it. Back home that night, she set a mug in front of me. I brewed the fancy beans, she said. They're just beans, I replied, but I took a sip. It was good. She sat. I've been thinking, she started. I've been off. You're right. Work made me numb. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'll try harder. That's a start. She reached for my hand. I didn't pull away. I didn't lean in either. She noticed. Can we reset? She asked. Reset needs consistency, I answered. Not one cup of coffee. She nodded and stood. I hear you. And for a couple of days, it looked like traction. She texted me at noon, a real message, not just a meme. She asked if I wanted to try a new taco place Saturday. I said yes, but I drove my truck, not hers. The tacos were great. We kept it surface. I didn't push. That was the compromise. She showed willingness. I kept distance until it wasn't theater. Then the wheel turned. Sunday night. Lights low. I read in the guest room. She appeared in the doorway like a question mark. Why haven't you touched me in a week? She asked. I looked up from the page. I'm preparing for single life. Her mouth parted. Excuse me. You heard me. You're giving up after. What? 1 month of me being tired. You've been checked out a lot longer than a month. You're weak, she shot. One rough patch, and you tap out. I'm disciplined, I replied. I don't cling to a setup where I'm downgraded to roommate. You set the tone. I matched it. You want me to throw a parade because you did laundry and didn't get your way? I want to be a husband, not a house manager. I can't believe you. She laughed once, short. All this over hugs. Don't minimize what you've been withholding, I said, tired but calm. Connection is not a garnish. It's the plate. Epic speech, she sneered. So what? You're going to sleep in here forever and act like the martyr? No, I'm leaving. She blinked. Leaving where? Out of this arrangement. When? Soon. Define soon. Tomorrow morning I've got some errands, I answered, standing. Tonight I'm packing a bag. You're ridiculous. I'm resolved. Over a bad month. Over a sustained lack of respect. You're not a man if you run at the first sign of inconvenience. I'm not running. I corrected. I'm choosing not to train you to treat me like furniture. I lifted the duffel from under the bed and set it on the chair. You don't want me? Fine. I won't market myself in my own house. She stood there, trying to find an angle she hadn't tried. When I zipped the bag, she scoffed. This is cowardly. This is clarity. I texted Mike that I might be out for a few days. He replied with an address of a short-term rental above his friend's workshop and the door code. I put my tool roll and some shirts in the duffel, grabbed my shaving kit, and put my wallet and keys on top. Then I showered, slept, and didn't dream. Morning, she tried another play. Pancakes. Music soft. She wore the t-shirt I like because it hangs easy. I made breakfast, she announced. I see that. Sit. Eat. I'll grab something on the way, I answered, taking my travel mug. Are you really doing this? I meant what I said. She moved to block the door. You're not going to talk to me? I've been talking for months. You're dramatic. I'm direct. So you just throw away our marriage. I'm not throwing anything. I'm setting down what you already let slide off the table. You're cruel. I'm controlled. She shifted another angle. You're overworked. That's why you're like this. We can take a weekend trip. Change of scenery. Trips don't fix contempt. I don't have contempt. You treat me like a roommate. I've been stressed, she countered. This is a phase. Then take the phase seriously. She stared me down. If you walk out, don't expect me to forgive you. I'm not asking for forgiveness, I replied. I'm telling you the terms of my life. She took a breath, then tried one more swing. What will people think when you run to a motel because your wife didn't hug you enough? They'll think I grew a spine. She laughed again, crueler now. You think your friends will side with you? I don't need sides, I answered. I'll tell the truth. People make their own choices. I stepped past her. She didn't move. She went to the sink and turned the water on like the sound could drown out consequence. At work, I finished the essential tasks, told my boss I needed the afternoon, and rolled out. I drove to the rental Mike sent me. One room, clean, bed by the window, little table. It smelled like fresh paint and sawdust. I put my bag down and sat on the edge of the bed. My hands were steady. That's how I knew. That evening she called. I let it ring. Then a text. So this is who you are. Then another. You'll regret this. I put the phone face down and went for a run around the block. The air was honest. The next day, I went back to the house to collect more clothes. She was there, waiting in the living room. Hair done, makeup gentle, like we were hosting. Illusion number 2. Let's not do something we can't undo, she said, voice low, kindly even. I talked to Tasha. She said couples go through seasons. We can recalibrate. I'll come to the gym with you. I'll go to Mike's garage and bring sandwiches. I'll turn off my phone at night. I'll show up. Give me 2 weeks. I watched her. She had assembled the pledges like a good student claiming extra credit. That's how I knew it wasn't from the bone. It was from strategy. 2 weeks of what? I asked. Of me prioritizing us. You had months. I didn't see it. You were told. I answered. You chose not to look. It changes now. Because I changed the terms. She spread her hands. That's called being responsive. It's called trying to stop a door from closing. It doesn't have to close. It does, I said. Because you didn't just drift. You mocked. You minimized. You made the room colder on purpose. That kills respect. And without respect, I'm not in. She searched my face for softness. You're really done. I'm not angry, I told her. I'm not waiting. So that's it, she said, eyes brightening not with tears but with a spark that meant challenge. You'll go tell everyone I'm the ice queen so they pat you on the back. I'll tell people I left a marriage that treated me like an appliance. You love being the hero. I love having a spine. You can't handle a strong woman. I can handle a partner, I replied. I won't carry a heckler. She stepped closer. If you leave, you make us look ridiculous. No, I replied. We made us look ridiculous. I'm ending the show. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then back at me. Tasha says we should have dinner tonight. Talk it through with witnesses. Pass, I said. I don't need a panel. You're scared of accountability. I'm very accountable, I answered. I'm announcing a decision and taking action. So that's the end. Her voice sharpened like she wanted it to cut. You can't even fight for this. I've fought for months, I said. I won't shadowbox your indifference. That night, I stopped by Rob and Tasha's anyway. Not for counseling, for closure on foreign ground. They were on the deck with plastic cups and a speaker playing old hits. Tasha's smile was bright. You two made up? She asked. Hopeful or nosy, you pick. No, I told her. I'm here to say thanks for the invites. I'll be scarce. Things are shifting. Rob's grin fell. You serious? Very. Tasha leaned on the railing. You can't bail because she's been distracted. People get distracted. I'm not bailing. I'm not under contract to tolerate contempt. That's a big word, she said. You sure it's not just a mood? I'm sure. My wife stepped onto the deck. She'd follow me there, I guess. He's being dramatic, she announced to the circle. He's mad about the past month. I turned to the group. I'm not mad. I'm clear. I asked for connection. I got distance and jokes at my expense. I set boundaries. She mocked them. I adjusted. She mocked that. So I'm done. Rob looked at me, then at her. Tasha folded her arms. My wife gave the room a half laugh. See? He wants applause for doing chores and being sensitive. Stop, I told her. You're proving my point in real time. Rob rubbed his chin. Maybe not the place, he murmured. Actually, I answered, it's the perfect place. I said I'd set a public boundary if needed. Here it is. I won't be in rooms where I'm the punchline. That includes my own house. Tasha frowned. Wow. Wow, I echoed. I agree. I left. No storming, no slamming. Next morning, early, before sunrise, I went back to the house. She was on the couch, awake, as if sleep had asked permission and she'd denied it. You're really going to do this? She asked. Yes. Say it then, she dared. Say the words. I set my bag by the door and faced her. I don't need this marriage, I told her level. So I'm leaving. In the morning I'll file for divorce. Goodbye. She stood, arms crossed, chin up like a captain whose ship just hit a sandbar but still wants to conduct the band. You won't do it, she said. You're trying to scare me. I don't threaten, I replied. I decide. She followed me down the hall. You're weak. A real man would hold on. A real man knows when to let go, I answered. Thanks for reminding me. At the threshold, she threw barbs like coins into a fountain, hoping one would buy her control back. You'll be alone, she said. I'll be free. You'll crawl back. No, I replied, hand on the knob. I don't live on knees. I walked out. The morning air had that metallic chill it gets before the sun warms the street. I loaded my bag, sat in the truck, and let the engine idle for a second. Then I drove to the building where you handle paperwork you don't want to handle. I signed what needed signing. No drama. Clips closed. I sent a message to friends and family, not a manifesto. Simple. Letting you know, I'm ending my marriage. I asked for partnership for a long time and got distance and disrespect. I'm not angry. I'm done. Please don't speculate or take sides. I'm fine. I didn't call her names. I didn't need to. People can read bullet points. Nora texted back first. Proud of you for setting a line. Mike wrote, spare room is still yours if you want it. Rob responded with a thumbs up and, here if either of you needs anything. Tasha sent nothing, then later wrote, you two should talk. It's not that serious. I didn't reply. It was exactly that serious. Over the next weeks, I kept my head down. Moved into a small rental near the river. Old hardwood floors that complain when you walk and a tiny porch where the morning light is direct and honest. I bought a second-hand table from a guy down the road, hauled it myself. I cut my budget, paid my share at the house until we unwound what needed unwinding and stopped being available for her climate. She texted a handful of times. At first it was barbs, then long messages about seasons and forgiveness, then silence when she saw I wasn't playing. She tried to keep our social circle like nothing happened. It didn't hold. People aren't dumb. They'd watched little moments pile up. They were polite to her. They kept distance. Control is magnetic until it's not. I put in more hours at work. Not to hide, to build. Mike and I fixed a nasty issue with fleet scheduling, routes that doubled back and wasted fuel, and my boss noticed. He put me in charge of logistics on a new account. Pay bumped up. I moved the rest of my tools to the new place, set up a bench in the corner of the living room because I could, and rebuilt an old yard cart someone posted online. The kind of dumb, useful project that keeps a man honest. I started running more. Not for times, for clarity. Saturday mornings, I joined a group at the park. That's where I met Erin. She's a teacher who runs like she's late to a meeting, steady, no drama. We didn't flirt. We talked. I mentioned I was unwinding a marriage without turning it into content. She nodded and told me about her dog that refuses to fetch. We got coffee. She said thank you when I opened the door. Revolutionary. Weeks after I left, Nora and I stood by the curb while the trash truck clanged up the street. She stopped by, Nora said, nodding toward my old house. Wanted to know what people were saying. I told her nobody was saying anything. People were watching behavior. That's kinder than she deserved, I answered. I don't traffic in gossip, Nora replied. I traffic in facts. You were steady. You asked. She mocked. You left. That's the summary. Sound bite, I said. Sound judgment, she countered. I keep the key to the guest room on my ring out of habit. I don't need it. The room is behind me like an extra rib you don't miss until it aches. I don't feel noble. I feel clean. Sometimes I drive past the old street on my way to Mike's garage. Lawn looks okay. The porch light is still on a timer I installed, friendly to no one particular. I don't slow down. You want a moral? Here's mine. Love doesn't disappear in one scene. Respect does. When it does, you don't bargain. You do what men used to do when their name mattered. You change your schedule, your address, your access, and you walk out on words that try to trap you. She can tell whatever story she needs. People will nod. Then they'll remember the cookouts, the jabs, the little freezes, and they'll understand without you ever having to say the ugly parts. That's the real win. Not revenge, not points. Just a life that feels like yours again. My house is small, quiet, and mine. My truck's paid off. My phone doesn't buzz with accusations. Aaron laughs at my dumb stories and asks what I'm building next like that's a normal question to care about. Mike keeps a stool open in his garage and a cold soda in the mini fridge. Nora waves when I jog by. As for my ex, I hear she tried to host a game night and no one bit. People are polite by default. They show up for character. That's not my scoreboard. It's just how it shook out. I didn't win by leaving her. I won by leaving the version of me that needed permission to be treated well. I set one final rule and followed it out the door. That's how it ends. That's how it stays ended.